Crime is a fascinatingly unpredictable realm, but have you ever wondered why some people do strange things? What drives them to do these creepiest crimes? People have a lot of different reasons for doing things, and sometimes it's not having a clear reason that interests us and makes us want to learn more. These 7 true crime stories will give you a look into some very interesting secrets. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon so you don't miss any of our updates. Let's start. Number 7. The Dnipropetrovsk Maniacs. The Dnipropetrovsk Maniacs were a pair of Ukrainian serial killers, Viktor Sayenko and Igor Saprunyuk, who committed a series of murders in Dnipropetrovsk in June and July 2007. They were charged with 21 murders and convicted of premeditated murder and animal cruelty. The victims of the maniacs were mostly women, but also included men and children. The perpetrators made video recordings of some of their murders, with one of the videos leaking to the internet. Their crimes were described as thrill killings, and they were also involved in robbery and enucleation. Sayenko and Saprunyuk were sentenced to life imprisonment for their heinous acts. The murders were characterized by extreme violence, and the perpetrators had no clear motive to explain their actions. The case shocked the local community and gained notoriety due to the brutality of the crimes and the involvement of the perpetrators in making and sharing video recordings of their acts. The Dnipropetrovsk Maniacs' actions were a disturbing and tragic example of senseless violence and its devastating impact on the victims and their families. Number 6. Clever Con Man. Psychological manipulation is a sneaky and dangerous tool criminals use to do bad things. One guy, Thierry Tilly, did exactly that. He tricked a rich French family for years, making them believe in a made-up story about an evil plan against them. He pretended to be someone special, linked to important people, and conned them out of $5 million, plus their fancy stuff like jewelry and art. The family got so scared and suspicious that they hid in their big house until the police took it away because they didn't pay taxes. They moved from one place to another, scared for their safety, all because of Thierry's lies. He even turned them against each other and hurt one of them trying to find a treasure that didn't exist. Thankfully, one family member finally spoke up and the police caught Tilly. It took a lot of help and time for the family to understand what happened to them. They started over while Tilly went to jail for 10 years for what he did. Number 5. Aurora Massacre. On July 20, 2012, a man named James Holmes caused a terrible event at a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado. It was a midnight showing of The Dark Knight Rises. He wore special clothes and used tear gas. He shot at the people watching the movie, firing 76 times. He hurt 70 people and killed 12. Later, the police caught him wearing heavy gear with 3 weapons, including a type of rifle called an AR-15. In 2015, Holmes was found guilty of many serious crimes, 24 counts of the most serious murder, trying to murder 140 people, and having a dangerous bomb. His family asked for mercy, saying he was very sick in his mind. In 2018, Holmes was given a life sentence in prison, without any chance to leave. The police also discovered dangerous things in his home. There were homemade bombs there, even hand grenades, connected to a box that could control them. Holmes talked to the news and said that understanding his thoughts might not satisfy people. He believed his mind's complexity couldn't be copied or explained easily. Number 4. The disappearance of Marty Jolovsik. Marty Jolovsik was a young widow running a tavern in Gary, Indiana, when she met Randy "Mad" Yeager, a high-ranking member of a motorcycle gang, back in 1996. They got along well, but Margie didn't know initially that Yeager had a long history of breaking the law. He and others from the Outlaws Chicago gang were being investigated by the federal authorities for serious crimes like racketeering, drug dealing, and even murder. As Margie's relationship with Yeager progressed, her behavior changed strangely. She distanced herself from her family, and when Yeager and 17 others were charged for their crimes, she stuck by him instead of seeing the warning signs. Even when Yeager fled from the law, Margie stayed devoted, feeling constantly watched by the authorities. Then, several months later, Margie disappeared without a trace, leaving behind her belongings, including her inhaler for asthma. Her family suspected Yeager kidnapped her, but the police weren't quick to assume she left willingly. It took until 2014 for the U.S. Marshals Service to catch up with the couple in Mexico, where they had been living for 17 years. Yeager was arrested, but tragically, Margie died during a high-speed chase while being pursued by the authorities. Number 3. Forgotten identity following strange disappearance. Imagine waking up on the side of a road in a strange place, not knowing where you are. That's what happened to Pierre when he woke up in a strange place in 1992, not knowing where he was. All he had was a blue bag and a library card that said Pierre April. He can only remember San Diego, far from where he woke up. With little money, he went to San Diego hoping to remember more. But even there, he didn't recognize anything. People helped him, thinking he had real amnesia caused by something traumatic. Over time, his memory slowly came back to pieces. He remembered a woman named Carol, thinking she was a colleague. Finally, someone recognized him on a TV show called Unsolved Mysteries. It turned out he was Pierre April, a Canadian. His family didn't know where he was for 5 months. When he reunited with them, looking at old stuff helped his memory. But no one knows exactly what happened during those missing months. Number 2. The Toronto Killer. Bruce McArthur, a Canadian man, did something very bad. He hurt and killed 8 men in an area of Toronto called the Gay Village from 2010 to 2017. McArthur used to dress up as Santa Claus in a shopping center and worked for himself as a gardener. The police caught him on January 18, 2018, and said he had committed 8 serious crimes. He said he was guilty on January 29, 2019, and got a punishment of life in prison. He won't be allowed to ask for freedom for 25 years. The people he hurt were mostly immigrants from places like the Middle East or South Asia, and many of them were LGBTQ+ members in Toronto. McArthur hid the bodies of the people he hurt using his gardening job, and the police found 8 bodies buried in different spots connected to him. This bad thing he did made the police in Toronto do their biggest investigation ever. They even got help from other police groups and people who study evidence. Number 1. The Hinterkaifeck murders. On the evening of March 31, 1922, something very sad happened at a small farm in Germany. 6 people who lived there were killed using a tool called a pickaxe. The people who died were Andreas Gruber, his wife Kazilia Gruber, their daughter Victoria, Gabriel Victoria's 2 kids, Kazilia and Joseph, and the maid, Maria Baumgartner. It's really sad because nobody knows who did this terrible thing. Even now, after a long time, nobody has been caught doing it. The police found the bodies on April 4, 1922, when the neighbors got worried because they hadn't seen the family for a while. The person who did this stayed on the farm for some time after and did things like feeding the animals and eating the family's food. The police couldn't find any reason why this happened, as it didn't seem like the person did it for money. Many people were asked about it, but nobody was charged. The farm where it happened was destroyed the next year, and the family was buried nearby without their heads because they were lost during a big war. The police have tried to solve this case many times, and in 2007, a special police school started working on it again, even though a lot of time had passed. That's all for now. Like and share the video and follow us for more such videos. Thank you.